Hey, here's my review for Glass. Um, so Glass is the third movie, uh, in the series, and this series, I don't think it really has a name just yet, but basically, first of all, it's Unbreakable, then Split, and then Glass. I didn't watch either of those other two movies, but Unbreakable is about Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis's characters. I'm gonna refer to them as Unbreakable and Glass because I names didn't stick with me very well. Um, then Split is about James McAvoy's character who has he's like the Horde or something, but I'm gonna call him Split. And then Glass. That's the one I just watched. That movie is awesome. All these twists are coming out of like seemingly they come out of nowhere, but then you think about it for only like 5 seconds and you're like, oh yeah, well that was set up at the beginning of the movie. Nothing comes out of nowhere. It all has a basis. It's not like, but wait, he was dead the whole time. It's not like the Ash Ketchum coma theory, which hasn't been relevant for the last 10 years in Pokemon, where he gets zapped and deaded and stuff, and then he sees a Ho in the sky. He's in a coma. Bum bum. No, it doesn't come out of nowhere like that. Literally every single thing has a basis in something. And I have not seen the other two movies. I've just seen Glass. This is actually a good thing, I feel, for this review, because I can tell you, it does not hinder your enjoyment whatsoever. I mean, if that would make me enjoy the movie way more, to see those other two, well then this is just an amazing movie. Because I already give it a 10 out of 10. What do you think it wants me to give it? Like a 20 out of 10? A 20 out of 5? Like, I'll give it a 20 out of 5 if I see those other two movies, probably. But nothing comes out of left field. The ending is a bit hard to watch. Not because of bad special effects, bad CGI, or anything. But spoilers. Like, I don't know why you're watching an in-depth review if you don't want spoilers, but everyone dies in such a way it's kind of hard to watch. And then just especially Glass when he falls out of his wheelchair. That was incredibly hard to watch because he has this thing where his bones will break from like so basically you don't want that. I wish autofocus would stop screwing up and I have to keep tapping my face. But basically you don't want that, and yet Glass has it. So he's basically really smart but confined to a wheelchair because if he jumps at the wrong if he misses a jump he's dead. And gravity isn't his friend basically. So he's super frail but super smart. I wouldn't say that Unbreakable is if this annoys you, I'm sorry, but the names really didn't stick with me. I know one of them is Elijah Price, which is Glass, but still I'm gonna call him Glass. The other one is like, yeah, see that's it. I got nothing, so I apologize, but basically, I wouldn't say Unbreakable is the opposite of Glass, but they're really close. It's like not a direct opposite, but still opposite. It's like 89% opposite because, you know, Glass is the smartest man in the universe, but also the weakest. And yeah, Unbreakable is the strongest, but he's not the dumbest. So, um, I'm sorry, I was just having a non-flashback or something. No idea what just happened there. Um, where was I? How long was I just blinking? How long did I just blink out? Um, but Glass is an interesting case because it's basically like these characters. I don't know if this is how it is for everyone else or all the other movies, but these characters are in such a position. It's like it's like being a superhero in a world where superheroes don't exist. Which I think is kind of the plot of Watchmen, which means I'm describing this terribly because it's nothing like Watchmen. So, hold my beer with that. That just didn't work out. And then basically there's an organization that is trying to hide the existence of superhumans, which is why they killed all three of the superhumans. Even though one of them's not really superhuman, he's just kind of crazy. He has some sort of super strength and super agility and stuff, but only one of his many personalities. By the way, I'm talking about Split, obviously. Only one of his many personalities can actually unlock the powers. It seems like Kevin can't do shit, but the Beast, as it's called, is just he has these. He bends bars, he lunges, he crawls on the walls. Like, Kevin is just over here, like, sitting around, like, doing... I can't remember if he's the baby talk one or if he's the other one, but he's just kind of sitting around being useless, just, and then the Beast comes around and he's got powers and shit, and he's flying around the wall, or he's, like, flying around the room. And then he's also walking like a cheetah man. Or a Puma Man, whatever you want to call it. I think that's a completionist joke, so whoopsies, just accidental plagiarism. But yeah, none of the twists come out of left field. Everything is obvious. Everything is... Like... Okay, so it's not obvious. Okay, that was the wrong word. That would make for a very boring movie, right? What I meant by obvious is, once it happens... You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That would explain a lot now. But when they're setting it up, you don't even realize they're setting it up. They just say something. Like, the scientist lady said to Glass, I have 100 cameras monitoring your every position. Good luck escaping. And Glass is just like... Well, he's pretending to be catatonic. But he's doing something with his face I think means like, oh. Huh. And so when he eventually escapes, because he was never actually catatonic, that twist came out of left field a little bit, but it's not really that big a deal. So, I mean, like, is it really that unbelievable that he could have just been pretending? Like, that's as if you didn't see me swipe a bag of Skittles, but I swiped a bag of Skittles, and then it's like, plot hole. It's like, no, I just swiped a bag of Skittles. It's not a plot hole. By the way, I didn't swipe a bag of Skittles, but I did have a bunch of Skittles earlier. They were good. I gotta speed things up real quick. But basically, when he escapes, he takes the long way with all the cameras, and then the lady's like, the scientist lady, she's all like, he made a mistake. He's taking the long way. That means we have time. And then, she's later like, oh, he wanted to die. He just wanted to prove that superhumans exist. That's why he went around all the cameras. Dun dun. But yeah, basically, this movie already gets a 10 out of 10. I want to say it's the perfect movie in its genre. I didn't really have a problem with anything. I mean, it was a really slow movie, and the advertising made me think it was going to be a really fast-paced one. But it's really slow at the beginning. And there was some stuff that I just couldn't. There was only like a few things that I didn't understand based on the other movies, and it was really the personalities of these characters because I didn't watch those other movies. If I watched those movies, I would have gotten the taste of the person, or I would have gotten a feel for the personalities. Oh, one thing I told my mom as soon as I left or as soon as we left the theater because my dad went to the bathroom. But as soon as we left, I told my mom, I love how this movie made everything extraordinary feel extremely ordinary. And I love that because it made me think for a second that they don't actually have powers. Like, I couldn't explain Split, flipping a car towards the end of the movie, obviously. But with Unbreakable, punching, or like just trying to break open that metal door from his prison cell or whatever, when he was trying to do all that, it just seemed like, okay, well, yeah, if you hit it hard enough and long enough, it's going to fall over. So, I mean, I could get through a door like that. It'd just take me a few years longer than it did him. And so, like, the whole movie, I was like, do they have superpowers or are they just crazy? I think Split is actually just crazy, though. I mean, he does have powers, but only one of his personalities can unlock those powers. So. But yeah, 10 out of 10. I gotta really speed things up. And by speed things up, I mean abruptly in this review. I had nothing else to say, but, like,